How you doing, guys? We're back with another versus video today. This time it will be the Giganotasaurus from Jurassic World Dominion versus the Spinosaurus from Jurassic Park 3. If you like watching any of my videos or just feel like being nice, please subscribe and watch my other videos. You can find other verses in my verses playlist. Thank you for watching, and a big thank you to anyone who subbed or is going to check out some of my other videos. It really helps out a lot. And on that playlist, there is another pretty good Jurassic Park video, Jurassic Park versus video that I think you might like. So let's get on with the verses. So today I'm going to try something new and compare them by categories instead of discussing one opponent at a time. So first, we have their overall build. The Spinosaurus during Jurassic Park 3 is 43.8 feet long, or approximately 13.3 meters. And weighs 8 tons or 7,257 kilograms. And its height is uncertain, but around 16 to 19.7 feet tall. Just so you know, it does get larger, and during Camp Cretaceous, it is quite a bit bigger. Because, it still grows after Jurassic Park 3. The Giganotosaurus is about 50.9 feet long, or approximately 15.5 meters in length. It is 8.95 tons or 8,119 kilograms in weight, and it is 18 feet or 5.5 meters tall. So the Giga is longer, which could help or hurt it. It really would depend on the setting of the fight, but I don't think the length of it will be too much of a factor in the fight. The Giga does weigh more, which will help it in this fight, but this kind of goes into the later topics of strength and durability. So because the height of the Spino is uncertain, I tried to judge off of clips, and I think that because the Spino tends to change its posture a lot, it's really difficult to assess its height. For most of the movie, it is more leaned over than I think it naturally would be because, it's hunting for humans, but based off of the clips, we see it with a T-Rex. I believe the Spino is shorter than the Giga when it's on the hunt, like when it's hunting a human or something. But I think its natural height is taller than the Giga's, which gives it a pretty big advantage as its reach is superior and it has a better range of motion overall with its height. Next, we have agility and speed. I might make these separate categories eventually, but for now, I'll keep them the same. The Giga's agility isn't really put to test much in the movie. When it chased and fought Grant and crew, its reflexes are pretty slow, and it has trouble countering what they do, mainly in the scene where its head is in the building and they're attacking it. The Spino is more agile than a smaller theropod like the T-Rex it fought, and gives the humans it attacks a much tougher time in a similar situation during the plane attack. There's only one scene showing the speed of the Giga, and it wasn't all that impressive, and it almost let all the humans get away, while the Spino was able to catch up to people who were 50 yards or more ahead of it without much of a problem. So the Spino takes a big edge in both speed and agility. Let's get into the discussion of strength. It isn't very effective a bunch of times, but the Giga didn't have much trouble throwing Rexy around when they fought in the final battle. With its superior height to the T-Rex, its jaw strength, and its huge jaws, it was very good at throwing large dinos, but its strength did fail it when it mattered most, as it had almost no resistance to Rexy's attack when it was distracted by the Therizinosaurus. The Spino was attacked first by the Rex it fought, and got tossed around a little bit, but it wasn't really hurt, and as soon as it went on the attack, it was over. But the Spino's strength was immense, as it was able to break a huge steel fence like it was glass. Its arm strength was unbelievable, but we'll get to that later. So overall, the Giga was very strong, and its head and neck strength were above the Spino's, but the Spino overall is stronger, especially considering its tail strength used for swimming. Now on to battle IQ and overall intelligence. The Giga doesn't really seem to be that intelligent. In fights, however, it uses its advantages to their full abilities, like its height and weight or its jaw and neck strength. The Spino is pretty intelligent mainly because it understands the concept of revenge and understands how to hunt different things and take out different threats. Although it doesn't do anything outlandishly smart, Battle IQ for the Spino seems to be that it takes longer to think or to act, but is much more efficient. So intelligence will go to the Spino by a decently sized margin, and Battle IQ goes to the Giga as it had the slight edge in that category. Next up is bite efficiency. The Giga's bite is very inconsistent. In the prologue, its bite on Rexy's neck kills her, and then in the movie she recovered after not all that long. As I said in my other versus video, because InGen's dinos aren't completely realistic in the story, while Biosyn's are, I've come to the conclusion that Rexy is stronger and more durable in the movies than she was in her first life. The Giga's bite causes tearing of an animal's flesh and bleeding due to the shape of its teeth. The Spino's bite isn't very strong, but the size of its jaws does help in a fight. The Giga takes a pretty big advantage in bite efficiency. Now on to terrain adaptability. The Giga is shown adapting to its terrain, like throwing Rexy down a ravine and throwing her into objects during their final battle in Dominion. But we don't see it really get tested in super different or unique terrains. Spino was able to fight in the open as well as in the forest, despite its size, just like the Giganotasaurus could, and was also great in the water, which can be very important. So we have the Giga that takes advantage of its terrain, but hasn't really been tested compared to the Spino, which has great adaptability, but doesn't use it to its advantage very much, except for in the water. I'm going to give terrain adaptability to the Spino due mainly to its swimming abilities and the fact that the Giga using the terrain to its advantage is arguably more so battle IQ. Then we have arm strength. The Giga doesn't really do anything with its arms, but I wouldn't call them useless. The Spino's arms are just OP. They were much stronger and quicker in a fight, and had very long, sharp claws, and could be very useful in battle. The Spino wins this category by a lot. And now, durability. Do we even really need to discuss this? The Spino gets hit by a plane and tanks it, fights a T-Rex, breaks through a steel fence, walks across like the whole island, and gets shot at and almost lit on fire and walks out pretty much perfectly fine. The Giga does have osteoderms, however, they mainly cover the higher parts of its body on the back, and the Spino could work around this without super much difficulty. And the Giga took fire to the mouth and seemed fine afterwards, but its mouth didn't look affected by it at all that much in the later scenes, so durability is going to be a huge edge for Spino. And finally, fighting experience and fighting ability. We don't really know how much fighting experience the Giga has because Biosyn Valley monitors the dinos. I doubt it had much, but I think it remembers its past life, but I'm not sure because it doesn't hint at it, while for Rexy it was strongly implied. The Giga's best abilities in a fight are its strength, mainly its neck and jaw strength. It used to thrash its opponents, and its fighting IQ in using its terrain to its advantage. The Spino lives on Isla Sornum, so it had plenty of fighting experience as it lived with hundreds of other dinos and lived and fought among them. And it also actively hunted down other apex predators. The Spino's best fighting abilities were its very strong arms, its incredible durability, its height, as well as its huge jaws and amazing adaptability. Now, onto the fight. The Giga is patrolling its territory in Biosyn Valley. When in the distance, it sees a very peculiar looking creature. The creature roars, and the sound carries across the valley. The Giga roars back at it as the creature nears. It is a spinosaurus. The two animals face off against one another. The Giga attempts to rush the Spinosaurus and headbutts it, throwing it off guard and off balance. Then it grabs the Spino by the neck and throws it, and the Spino falls 20 feet away. The Giga attempts to capitalize on the opportunity and again rushes the Spinosaurus, but this time the Spino is ready and slashes the side of the Giga's torso with its hooked claws. The Giga shrieks in pain. The Spino raises its posture as it wraps its jaws around the underside of the Giga's neck and begins thrashing the Giga around with its large jaws and throws it with fierce force into the ground. The Spino is about to fall onto all fours, but the Giga scratches its stomach with the claws at the end of its feet. The Spino roars in pain while the Giga gets up. The Spino bites down on the Giga's tail just before thrashing and throwing it by the tail. While it fell, it pulled the Spino down with it by grabbing its tail just before it fell. The Giga was a little cumbersome in its recovery, but the Spino wasn't. It grabbed the Giga using its superior height and threw it into a tree. As it struggled to get up, the Spino grabbed its neck again with its long crocodilian-like jaws and wrapped its arms over its neck, and with an electrifying snap, the Spino broke its neck, killing it. The Spinosaurus wins. Due to its many advantages and what I think the truth is, basically that I just think that it's better overall as a fighter. Please tell me what you guys think would go down in this fight, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys later. Bye.